Fretwork. So first things first, let's have a look if the neck is in fact straight. Just a tiny little dip in the middle there. There we go. Now, Jay did a really good job on the frets, but I'm still gonna check if there's any sort of rock in them. There's one. There's another. Okay, so there's some rocking. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tape up the fretboard, do just very, very light sanding, just to get all the frets leveled up. I'm gonna come back to it so you see exactly how it's done, but first off, just gonna mask off the fretboard. All right, so I've I've masked off the fretboard, and then I put Sharpie on it just so that I know when I'll be getting flat frets. Now I'm not putting any downward pressure on this, I'm just literally letting the sandpaper do the work. And that's that. I don't want to do any more than that. So again, sharpening off and then doing the crowning to make that line in the middle as small as I can get it. I've done tutorials on this before, so I'm not going to bore you with the details. I'm just going to go ahead and get it done. Fortunately, Jay had done really good work on the frets, so it's not a bother at all. So I'm just going to take some 320 now to get rid of all the file marks. So I'm going that way because all the file marks are going this way. Well, not file marks, but sandpaper marks. They're going this way. So if you're bending, it's going to hit those and it's going to make a scratchy sound. So getting rid of those by going the other way. Now once that's done, it's time to take out the fret polishing rubbers and move my way through the grits. So I'm starting off with the very coarse. Fortunately, there's not too much work to do because we didn't need to really file these frets down. We just gave them a light sanding on top. So this is some fairly quick and easy work. And I'm gonna go through all the grits, and then you've seen me do this a million times, so I'm gonna do all the grits of the fret rubbers, then I'm gonna use chrome polish to really polish up those frets, and oil the fretboard, and I'll get back to you after that. All right, and then it's time to do some assembly. Basically, now I have the frets polished up, fretboard oiled, polished up the headstock. Now I just need to put it together. I need to do a little bit of work on the nut. That had some small, tiny issues with it. I'm also putting in a tiny little shim that I made out of curly birch veneer because it's the right thickness. I just put the shim in because previously the neck had no angle on it at all, which caused a little bit of issue, not much, but this should improve playability somewhat. Especially seeing as Strat type instruments are known to have shims in their necks every now and then. It's not a uncommon thing to fix up either. Besides, the new owner will probably do that sort of thing anyways at some stage, so might as well beat them to it. Now one part I didn't film was the reshaping of the nut. It was just poking out just a little bit over the fretboard edge. So I fixed that by just sanding it down with some 320 and then 800 to get it a little bit polished up. But basically I just Smoothed it out, made it look, or shaped it a little bit, made it look a little bit better. So now it tucks in there nicely. Need a little bit of super glue, just 1 drop will do. So that's in. But one thing that the nut does require is just a little bit of work with the slots on it. They're not off by much, but we left them a bit high so that you can still adjust them if need be. However, now is a very good time to fix them up. I'm going to take a half-cut pencil, and that's going to mark out where my frets sit. So I don't need to go too much lower, just a tad. So let's have a look at my string gauges here. So I'm going to be putting 10s on this, so that's a 10, 13, 17, 26, 36, and 46. Find the corresponding ones. Yeah, there we go. All right, so here we go. And seeing as the slots are already cut, there's not much for me to do. Thing is that the slots themselves have a little bit of an angle to them. These strings are going that way, so I need to adjust them to go straight. Fretboard is bleeding out some of the oil, so I'm rubbing all that away. I'm going to do some final shaping of the nut real quick. Final shaping and polishing with some 800. Get rid of that pencil line on one side. All right, there we are. Great. Now I'm going to polish up the rest of the guitar. So that's the neck, the body, and the back of the headstock. Put the tuners in. Then it's time to string it up. And yeah, here we go. String her up. Now I'm already remembering back and thinking that there is a slight issue with how this guitar was built, and that the neck pocket is kind of out of whack. So we'll see how it is once I actually get this high E string, there we go, in place. Because what I think is gonna happen now is I'm gonna need to angle up. Yep, exactly. The high E string is almost completely off the fretboard, meanwhile the low E string is, well, almost in the middle of the freaking fretboard. So, just gonna pop this in here, just so it don't escape. And then, let's see, so I need to, the neck needs to come this way. No, I need to go the other way. So as much that way as is humanly possible. That should be just fine. Just put the string tree in place. That's fairly boring process, this, but by the looks of it, I had to bring the action up just a hair, seeing as I altered the neck angle a smidge, which is not a bad thing. Overall, this guitar should now play a hell of a lot better than it did before. And it already played very well, don't get me wrong. It's just the little things that make it from a really good instrument into a really great playing one. In general, I had very little work that I needed to do because Jay had done a tremendous job to begin with in making this instrument. Alright, so I am gonna adjust the height of the action, get her tuned up, get her intonated, and yeah, then let's see how she feels to play. I'm gonna leave this here for now because I'm already going a little further in this tutorial than I thought I would go. And well, but yeah, I'm just gonna leave this here because the whole point of this video was just to be very, very quick. Let's see what I can do with this guitar sort of thing. The main thing was doing the custom work, which is that and the headstock. So yeah, let's see how she sounds in a bit. So now I have the guitar set up, intonated, and I forgot to put on my lavalier mic. So I'm just gonna let this be real quick. By the way, this is my really quick setup for testing out stuff. So it's literally guitar straight into my Boss ME25 and then into a JBL clip. And that's pretty much the gist of it. It's mostly based on the fact that I just can't play for shit. Oh, that's all fun and games, so. Alright, that was a very different sort of video. I hope you enjoyed it, and be sure to hit that like button. And subscribe to see tons more videos coming up. I don't really know if there's going to be any more videos of this one, so if there aren't, yeah, say farewell to Oceana. It is, without a doubt, one of the most unique instruments that I've had over here because of how it has been built and so on and so forth. You don't come across too many of these too often. And if you become the proud owner of Oceana in the future, be sure to get in contact. I want to see what you can do with this thing. So yeah, that's all for now, and see you guys next time.